Welcome to podcasts recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Let's give it up for our beautiful Friends Band. Woo. I believe both songs this morning were written by Ken Brewer, our amazing keyboardist. Everybody stand like Reverend Larry. He's ready. Oh, okay. Is it weird if I just keep it like this? No, I'll take it off. Take it off and put it on. All right, so stand if you're willing, and on our wonderful yellow sheets, let's sing our opening song for the month of August. It's August 1st. Woo. It's Thank You for This Day by Miss Karen Drucker. All right. All right. We want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a little prelude.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our hearts say thank you. We want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Our hearts say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
sing. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this healing. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Oh yes. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. I thank you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful, so grateful, so grateful, so grateful, so grateful, so grateful, so grateful.
So grateful.
And I want to say thank you. Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
can do this all morning, can't we? Thank you. Want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Say thank you. Thank
Thank
you. Yes, amen. Thank you, Marcy. Oh, my goodness.
Good morning and welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We are a science of mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your journey, we welcome you and say that all we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. And to our Facebook Live and global audience, we say welcome. We're so glad you're here. So we have a lot of things going on today. If you are new to the center or haven't yet used it, our website, cslportland.org, keep saying it, cslportland.org, is how you find out everything that you need to know about what's going on at our center. If you're new here in person today, we also have our welcome packet, which is at the table there by the door, so please check that. It gives you lots of information about who you are, what we believe, what goes on here. So please take that. If you're doing it on the website, you can check into the About Us click there on the menu tab. So that gives you, website gives you information about all the activities that are going on. Some of you are already on our website, on our email, and get the email every Tuesday from Reverend Larry that tells you everything you need to know about what's going on here, and this is what I depend on. So again, if you are on the website, cslportland.org, and you scroll down to the bottom on the right-hand side, it's going to give you a place to put in your name, email address, and then you get to click on what you'd like. We have 3 options. You can get the weekly email that I just mentioned here. You can get the 365 Ernest Holmes daily affirmation that is beautiful, produced by Reverend Larry, and comes out every day, weekends and all, with a beautiful picture and information from Ernest Holmes and how to bring that into our lives. Or the email, the 365 Ernest Holmes, and you can enter with your name and birth date, don't have to have the year, and you will get an e-card, birthday card, and a gift, which is a free practitioner session for which if you're on a global one, you'll be doing a Zoom one, so that's fine. We have a lot of announcements going on here, and those of you that are here will notice next Sunday, or it's on our website or on our email, next Sunday our licensed practitioner, Kate Barrett, is being celebrated as practitioner emeritus, although she agreed she would be emerita, but being a good feminist. So we have a special service for her next Sunday, and it'll be during our service, and then there is a reception here upstairs at 12:30 for those of you that are here. Kate is one of our wonderful practitioners, teachers. Anybody that's had a class has probably met Kate and knows how absolutely dedicated she is. Emeritus means she's been here for 20 years, and that's an honor. Okay, so we also have, of course, our town hall meeting today, and it was going to be in person and virtual, but because of the COVID, we're now doing it completely Zoom, so everybody will be able to be available for the town hall meeting, and that's going to give us some information about what's going on in our programs financially, some of the new equipment that we have here, the educational offerings, and lots of good information about who we are and what's happening, and this is presented by the Board of Directors. So we also have a workshop coming up Saturday the 14th, so a week from Saturday. Licensed practitioner Sylvia Kearns will be presenting by Zoom Sacred Geometry, Revealing Divine Patterns Within. And this is from 1 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. So please consider that. And again, you can get information on it on our website, cslportland.org, or in the email that comes out. So regular ongoing things, we have of course, our Sunday service here and on Facebook Live. We also have Friday lunch with Reverend Larry, which has been going on for almost a year and a half now since the pandemic started. This is, of course, virtual, so bring your own lunch. And this is time for socializing and also to explore some of the concepts that are being presented in the service here, so you'll get a little bit of spiritual education at the same time. We have Zoom groups for our social justice book club, which I had it announced wrong last week, but it really is this week. It's the first Saturday of the month, so it's August 7th, 12:30 to 2, and everyone is welcome, whether in fact, we don't have a new book this month. We're catching up. We've been doing it for almost 4 years now. So there's a list of all the different books that we've read, and please feel free to read any, all, or come in just for the discussion. We also have our 12-step program for women every Saturday at 11 o'clock on Zoom. So lots of things going on here. So sit back and relax, because we know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message, and I forgot to say that our special music is, of course, by our own LaRhonda Steele. Thank you, LaRhonda, and the band, and our flowers by Kat Jacobs. Every week, they're so beautiful. So sit back and relax, because we know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came to receive.
Thank you, Nancy. So as we enter our sacred time of meditation, I invite you to get settled where you are in your seat, to breathe in, become aware of your breath. As we settle into our heart space, and we sing a different song this morning for meditation. It is God is, I am. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now, right God, right here, right now. God is, I am.
Everywhere present, always loving, unconditional, non-judgmental, the wisdom, the life, the power of life in, through, and as every aspect of the universe. And there are so many beautiful qualities of spirit, and we know that they are everywhere present throughout the universe. Every person, place, thing is imbued with all of the love, all of the wisdom, all of the life of spirit. And I know that for myself, being human, there is still the spiritual part of me that includes all of the love, the peace, the wisdom. And as this is true for me, I know it's true for every person here and every person hearing this prayer, that we are all in our humanity, we are all still totally surrounded, filled with the goodness of God, of Spirit, that we are all using the law of cause and effect, that we are all here perfect, whole, and complete. And so I just claim and affirm for us today that we are able to be both human and spiritual at the same time. We live our lives knowing that as God is in us and all around us, it's all good. And as we look for the good, we see more and more of it everywhere. We see it in all of our friends and neighbors. We see it on the people that we meet on the street, that there is goodness, that there is Spirit in, through, and as each and every one of them. We are all part of that oneness that is God, that is Spirit, that is divine wisdom or infinite wisdom. We are all one body in the body of God. And so knowing that in this human form, we are still accessing all that is in Spirit. It is always available, always supporting, guiding, available to us anytime we stop and look. We are whole, perfect, healthy beings with a spiritual prototype of physical perfection. So all of these qualities are ours for the recognition. And as I know that this is the truth, I am so very grateful to know that Spirit is always supporting me and every one of us. And so I release my word into the action and activity of the law, knowing that the law always says yes to all that we firmly believe, hold to be true, have faith in, and it is working to demonstrate always. And so I release this, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. And as we go into the silence, I just invite us to feel that presence in our minds, in our bodies, knowing that it is all around us and in everyone.
Welcome back from the silence. This is a wonderful song by Jamie Lula. Sing what you're not and then what we are. So what we are is the light of the world. Yes. Na 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 na. You're not bad, you're not selfish, you're not ugly, you're not broken, damaged, or dysfunctional. No, no. You're not the things you tell yourself you are, not the opinions of others or old scars. You are the light of the world. make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You're not stupid, lazy. You're not fat or too thin. You're not a big mouth or crybaby. You're not a bully or original sin. None of those things. You're not the things you tell yourself you are. Not the opinions of others or old scars. You are the light of the world. Yes, you are. You are the light of the world. So make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit. And I'm gonna love you. Make your heart my home. Spirit says, I'm gonna love you when you feel alone. And I'm gonna love you when the blues creep in. And I'm gonna love you till the end. Then I'll start all over and over again, because you are the light, yes you are, of the world. Yes, you are the light of the world. Let's make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of our lives. Yes. Let's make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of our life. Let's make a joyful noise to the Spirit of our life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit. The Spirit of our life.
You know, LaRhonda, I think you had me at na 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 na. She knows any song with whistling or nanas, right? It's like I'm instantly happy. Welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. Would you be willing to do a little make believe with me just to start out? All right. So imagine that it's a few, maybe tens of thousands of years ago. I know some of you hadn't been born yet, but we're gonna have to use the time machine to go way back to the dawn of civilization. Imagine with me, if you will, my name is Ugg. And although I'm getting on in years, I'm still a valued member of the tribe because I have super good eyesight. And so it's coming up on dusk, and they've sent me to the edge of the clearing, and I'm kind of hiding behind not a podium, but a rock. And I'm surveying the field out there. I'm surveying this large clearing. And the reason they've sent me out, of course, is in the evening is when a lot of animals are out on their way out to the watering hole and other things as they retire for the evening. And as lookout, my job kind of has two parts. One, of course, every couple days the tribe needs to find food. And so what I'm really hoping, just above the peaks of some of the shrubs, like a quarter of a mile away, I'm hoping I'm going to see some antelope, just the tips of their horns, because that'll mean we'll go hunting tomorrow. But I'm also looking for something else, and I got to tell you, my heart rate is elevated. There's a fair amount of adrenaline moving through my system right now, because not only is there the excitement at the thought of food. Wait, there. I know that tawny color there, between those rocks right on the horizon. That's not food. And so I'm afraid I have a different message to take back to the tribe tonight. Are you with me on this? Now let's fast forward. I don't know was that 100,000 years? It was a long time ago. But let's fast forward, and today I'm sitting on the 34th floor of the, the Interstate Bank Tower in my office, and the phone rings. And suddenly, it's 100,000 years ago, and the same adrenaline is coursing through my system. And I feel like once again, a saber-toothed tiger might be about to bring me down. It is so weird the way our humanness works. 100,000 years ago, what a good thing to have that adrenaline coursing through my body. What a good thing, even though I'm hiding behind a rock, to have that sense of fight or flight, that necessity either to run back and warn people, or perhaps it was going to be the hunting party the next day where we, with nothing more than our bare hands and maybe a spear and rocks, might need to bring down what we're going to eat for the next week, right? How important that level of cortisol is pouring through my system. How important that I can do what needs to be done, whether it is running literally for my life to warn my friends and family, or to do what's necessary in terms of gathering and hunting. How wonderful, how truly wonderful anxiety is. Right? But the trouble is, our brain hasn't actually changed a whole lot in the last 100,000 years. And so the same thing, that glimpse of tawniness in the background that might signal something that's a threat to us, unfortunately, I've transferred that onto the telephone ringing. I've transferred that onto whether I get a promotion or not. I've transferred that onto whether or not the airport security is making me wear certain kinds of masks on the plane or not. I've translated that into fears of all kinds of things that are not probably actually going to cause me any true harm. And I don't need to bring down the big game anymore, right? I just need to walk to the refrigerator, right? Or call for Uber Eats, right? And they'll deliver it. For the most part, for the extreme most part, my life is safe and secure and well provisioned. There aren't people at the door wanting to bring me down, and yet, sometimes I feel that way. Well, we're using an amazing book this month, and I certainly recommend it. It's a short read and a good one. It's called Zen in the Age of Anxiety. It's by Tim Burkett, one of those lovely bestsellers that we pick up now and then here. And we're going to talk through this idea of, first of all, anxiety is not a bad thing when it actually causes us, motivates us to do something that's positive and healthy, and that does provide us either greater safety or greater nourishment or whatever, right? So we don't want to get rid of anxiety, but I sure want to disconnect it from the everyday activities that don't really represent harm to me. Because what all the studies have shown is when your heart rate is elevated for weeks at a time, when you're anxious day in and day out and worried, this shortens our lives dramatically. It causes all kinds of medical, emotional, and physical issues in our bodies and our minds and our spirits. We don't want to be that person. We don't want to be ugh anymore. Scanning the horizon for the millions of things that could go wrong. And so this week we're gonna talk about some of those issues, and more importantly, we're gonna try to talk about how to navigate through them successfully to bring truly pleasure back into our lives, to feel safe, even in these awkward circumstances that we're going through right now. We're going to learn how to feel safe. We're going to learn how to feel secure. We're going to learn how to open our hearts, because that's the other thing. Believe me, when you are on the edge of your seat, your heart is not open. When that anxiety is flooding through you, you are not able to take on the pleasures of the world, the joys of the world, and the love of the world. Well, first off, I want to talk about a couple biggies when it comes to anxiety. And I think it's time for a Dalai Lama story. So, when the Dalai Lama was first exiled out of Tibet, they honestly had to do quite a bit of fundraising tours to keep his mission and story moving in the world. And they weren't really sure what was going to happen. And in the beginning, of course, people were like, well, who is this guy again? And so the crowds were pretty small. And the story goes, one of his first tours of the United States, they were in an auditorium with only about 300 people. And back then, you could actually ask the Dalai Lama questions yourself, right? He wasn't famous enough, and there was an interpreter there because he spoke very little English, of course, in those days. And so the story goes, one of his first tours, they were talking about trouble in the world, and it was during the Vietnam era, if I remember right, and people were talking about trouble in the world and war, and of course he did a very eloquent and beautiful speech around world peace and what we could do, that peace begins inwardly and things like that. And then he opened it up to questions, and one young man in the front said, I just don't think that I'm up to doing anything around this idea of peace. I just don't think that I'm strong enough. I don't think that I have the wherewithal or the intelligence to meaningfully do anything about this. And so the translator translated it into Tibetan, or I'm showing my ignorance. Do they speak Tibetan in Tibet? Probably. I really am ignorant. I just realized that. Don't you hate that? Anyway, the translator translated, and the Dalai Lama kind of scratches his head and asks the translator a couple more questions, and the translator tries again, so the translator stood up and said, I'm having some trouble talking to the Dalai Lama about this notion of unworthiness, of not being smart enough or good enough. He doesn't really understand that. Can you guys help me? And so there were some more suggestions and more translating, and the Dalai Lama is still not understanding it. And the translator then, after discussing with the Dalai Lama some more, the translator says, you're going to laugh, but the Dalai Lama thinks that maybe there's a mental illness involved here, that he's never really heard of anyone who didn't love and appreciate themselves. And so the Dalai Lama and the translator talked a little more, and the translator says, I've been asked if everyone in the room who doesn't love and appreciate themselves wholeheartedly would please raise their hand. And about a third of the audience raised their hand. the Dalai Lama didn't believe that the translation was working right because he could not conceive of that many people in one place who didn't believe in themselves. And he concluded his talk that day by saying, how does anything get done if you don't believe in yourself? Now, of course, all of his life, he perhaps had been sheltered a bit as the Dalai Lama in training, so to speak, as a young boy. It may be that he didn't get out into the villages to learn what maybe a harsher way of life had been outside of the monastery where he was raised. But still, I think it's interesting that he found it hard to imagine people who didn't love themselves, who didn't trust themselves, who didn't believe that their abilities were sufficient to do what's necessary in the world. And that, believe it or not, is one of the primary causes of modern anxiety. The thought that you are not up to the task of living in this world. That you're not smart enough to make a difference, that you're not lovable enough to find a partner, that you're not capable enough to get a good job and hold on to it. Can you see the source of anxiety here? It's like never feeling like you fit in, never feeling that you're good enough, not feeling that the good life is for you. Well, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, because I do know that about a third of us, if we were being truthful, probably would have to raise our hands, that there are some doubts about our own self-worth. First of all, know with me that that is a huge source of anxiety in your life. And so that's one of the things we're going to really be focusing on this month. The other one is interesting. The other one, I can't credit the Dalai Lama with having to say anything about it, but I will say that it's foremost on Ernest Holmes' mind, the teacher of the science of mind, the founder of what we believe. And he summed it up by stating this: principle is not bound by precedent. And by that, he meant that our past is not always a very good predictor of what we can expect in the future. The principle of love, the principle of joy, the principle of peace, the principle of happiness, those things are not to be controlled by what has happened in our past. And of course, he made that statement long before some of the interesting advancements in brain science. So back to the laboratory again for just a minute here. They've done a number of studies that are kind of disturbing around the way our brain works. Not only does that telephone ringing bring us back 100,000 years to the place where we're suddenly in the jungle, wondering if the boss is going to kill us or something crazy like that, but they've also discovered that part of that same mechanism for keeping us safe allows us to access negative memories 6 times easier than positive ones. So let's just imagine you're a young child and you're remembering a string of birthdays that you had. And 5 of them were fabulous, and 1 was a real stinker. Remember the stinker? Of course you remember the stinker, because you're 6 times more likely to remember the birthday that went horribly wrong than you are the 5 in a row that were joyous and happy. It's the way our brain works. And so worry is primarily a function of believing that things in the future are going to play out the way all of our memories of negative situations played out. Well, first of all, it's not even true, right? We're ignoring the 5 times when everything went well, and we're imagining that the future is going to be like what? The 1 time when something went horribly wrong. So that's why when the phone rings, we imagine the boss is there, not to tell us we got a raise, right? But to tell us that we got fired. Because remembering from 10 years ago when the phone rang and the boss didn't even have a courtesy to bring us into the office and we just got fired over the phone. And we remember that Instead of the 3,500 times when the phone rang, it was something beautiful and wonderful and joyous and happy. And I'm telling you, it's just being human. So let's switch gears now, because I want to start out with the happy news here. Awareness is curative. Awareness is curative. The mere fact that you're going to go home and remember these two things that were hardwired for anxiety and that we're apt to think the future is going to look like some of the negative things that happened in our past when it isn't true, that alone is going to help to cure you of anxiety. Next time you're worried about the future, remind yourself you are in the business of predicting catastrophes. It's the way your brain works, and it's not true. It is simply not true. You can calm yourself down just by saying, wait a minute, what if the phone ringing is Ed McMahon telling me I finally won that darn sweepstakes? Right? What if it all goes right? Why am I worried negatively about the future? I remember what Reverend Larry said. I'm not even remembering 90% of all the goodness that has happened in my life, and I'm fixated that what's going to happen is going to follow the pattern of the one thing that went wrong. So first of all, some of the advice that I got from my mom when I was a kid was dead on. When I would get worked up into just an outrageous fit of worry or trouble or despair, she would just say, okay, all right, just sit for a minute, right? And honestly, it's probably some of the best advice that I can give you. Just sit for a minute and breathe. Recognize that this anxiety, it is something that probably is unavoidable because it's just flooding your system based on that 100,000-year-old flight or fight mechanism. So just allow in your humanness to just sit and go, oh my gosh, that's what's happening. The adrenaline is running through me. Now, the good news is I know it'll be done in about a minute if I just sit and focus on my breathing and recognize the reality of it could be the best thing in the world that's happening to me. I'm catastrophizing here. As soon as I have that awareness, as soon as I breathe into the feelings, rather than bringing up resistance and trying to fight it or trying to figure it out, right? Suddenly you're breathing, you're almost ready just to laugh at our humanness. So that's the first lesson that we're going to learn today, is to just laugh at our humanness. Just to be okay with uncomfortability. It's no longer going to be the saber-toothed tiger tracking you down, right? The worst thing it might do is be some social faux pas that you've made, which you can sort out by talking to people, right? And it's just those ancient mechanisms in our brain that are making it seem difficult. So we just breathe. We breathe into it. I'm no longer in that situation from the past. I'm right where I am right now. All is safe. In this present moment, there is love, there is safety, there is joy to be had. I'll just breathe through that troubling feeling. I'll allow those thoughts to just pass through me because I know they're not predictive. I know that that's just the stacked deck of my own brain from what happened a long time ago. So I think it's time to talk about a little bit of homework here. Oh, wait a minute. I completely skipped our joke. And I would hear about that later if I don't get the joke out. All right. Now, talk about old jokes. This one was printed in the London Daily Journal, July 2nd, 1904. So almost a joke old enough for UGG. So a young woman from the city went to visit her country cousins on the farm. To the farmer, she expressed some considerable anxiety. She did not like the murderous way in which the bull out in the field was regarding her. "Well, it must be on account of that red blouse you've got on," answered the farmer. "Oh, dear me," said the girl. "Well, of course, I should have known it's out of fashion, but I had no idea that such a country cow would take offense." And so it really is, anxiety is really just made up in our mind. What am I doing? How do I imagine that I'm doing something wrong? How do I imagine that life is going to take a bad turn? And so because it's in our mind, because those initial thoughts of flight or fight are something that really just occur up in here, it's up in here where we can make the difference. It's in our own minds, in our own hearts, where we can learn to accept something that is better. Allow the biochemical soup in our bodies to process through. That's unavoidable. But what we do about it is completely within our purview. We can simply sit and allow it to pass and recognize that the future is what we make of it. It's not predicted on the past. So the homework this week is right out of the book, and I want to read you a little something, and then we'll allow Tim Burkett to assign the homework here. He says, "The point of this chapter has been to demystify our emotional reactivity so that we can live with greater buoyancy and skillfulness, even during emotional upsets. The following exercises are designed to help you see your emotional patterns and to practice staying with them without acting upon them in negative ways." And so here's the homework assignment. For this next week, notice what category of thoughts and or behaviors you engage in when you're afraid or anxious. So next time you find yourself afraid or anxious, next time you're worried about something, next time your brain is kind of whirring a little bit out of control, self-doubt, anxiousness, what the assignment is, after identifying your predominant pattern, pause, breathe deeply. Here's mom's advice again, right? Just sit down, pause, breathe deeply for 2 or 3 minutes, and contemplate this desire to fight, flee, or freeze. So all you're going to do, next time you feel anxious, next time you're worried, next time something seems like it's about to go wrong, you're going to sit, you're going to take stock, you're going to notice your feelings, and you're going to contemplate this idea of the desire to fight, flee, or freeze. So this week it's just observation. Just want you to notice what's coming up for you. Just be in that place of it being okay to be a little uncomfortable. You know you're going to be safe. You know that worry is not going to create some kind of a malady. Just allow the feeling to pass through you. Well, I want to close with something right out of the book today, and this is something that I can use a little bit of helpful from. So the tradition is Zen Buddhism out of this book, and there's a Tibetan blessing that I think is going to sound familiar to you. I know some of the new thought artists have made this into a song. We're just going to recite it, though, as a bit of a poem. So I'll read a line to prompt you, and then you repeat it back to me, all right? May you be filled with loving kindness.
May you be filled with loving kindness.
May you be well.
May you be well.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
May you be peaceful and at ease.
And may you be happy.
And may you be happy.
May I be filled with loving kindness.
May I be filled with loving kindness.
May I be well.
May I be well.
May I be peaceful and at ease.
May I be peaceful and at ease.
And may I be happy.
And may I be happy.
We are filled with loving kindness.
We are filled with loving kindness.
We are well.
We are well.
We are peaceful and at ease.
We are peaceful and at ease.
We are happy.
We are happy.
And so it is.
So
Thank you so much for being here today. Such a pleasure to have you on Sunday. Now is our time of conscious contribution. I invite you to take your gift or your tithe, whatever it is you brought to share with us today. I know those of you online may be going to your workstation to make a donation at cslportland.org/donate. If you'd like, you can repeat after me. Graciously I give.
Graciously I give
From a place of love.
from a place of love,
Knowing that as I give,
knowing that as I give,
so do I graciously receive.
so do I graciously receive.
Would the ushers please begin receiving the gifts?
What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed with the wind always fill up my sails, how far would I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? Help me sing this part. What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the breed of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? You know there are. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? I would breathe, yes I would. What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? I'd refuse to listen to the voice of fear. I listen to the voice of courage whisper in my ear. Baby, this is what I'd hear. I am brave enough to move ahead where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. The steps that I would take today, I am brave. What would I do today? I am brave. What would I do today? Yes, I am brave. What would I do today? Yes, I am brave. What would I do today? I am brave. you. Thank you. We bravely went through that song. Amen.
Do it again, right? Oh, thank you, Susan. On behalf of the Portland Center for Spiritual Living, I receive these gifts with great love. I know that our vision of a world that works for everyone and our mission of personal empowerment, I know that as we pay our bills, as we make gifts to other nonprofits, this circle of love expands in the world. I'm grateful for this. I let it be, and so it is. So just a couple of quick reminders. Our board of directors had to really think about this one, but we were a little worried about being enclosed upstairs for the town hall meeting. And so we're inviting you, and I know the time is short, and I do hope that many of you have a chance to join us for the town hall meeting today. Anyway, all of the details are on the website for the Zoom link. And so thank you for participating if you can. And hopefully within a few weeks, maybe these will be more optional again. I'm hoping for that. And bless you all for playing along with us today and keeping us safe. It's important. The other thing I just wanted to mention is we do have prayer support. If you're in need of prayer, please take advantage of a couple different ways. If you happen to be at home, our website, cslportland.org, at the bottom of every single page is a little link that says Submit a Prayer Request. If you fill that out and send it in, it's automatically sent to all of our licensed practitioners and ministers, and it's our pleasure to pray for you throughout the week. If you'd like something more immediate and you're here in person, back by licensed practitioner Kathy Batten there, she has prayer request cards, and you can fill those out, and we'll start praying for you right after the service. Also, just a really quick reminder, I really do hope everyone is here next week for our celebration of Kate Barrett and her emerita. I didn't know that there was a male and a female. How silly. Anyway, 20 years of service. Oh my God, can you believe it? Please be here for that. We're going to have a good time. But for now, I think I invite you to stand. I know, exactly. It really is. It's amazing. It's amazing. I invite you to stand if you like, and you can repeat after me. Something wonderful is flowing through me right now.
Something wonderful is flowing through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
And life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I expect it.
I expect it.
And I am it
I am it.
just the way that I am.
Just the way that I am.
Please know with me that you are never alone. If at any time during the day or night, if forgetfulness might creep upon you, I invite you to go within on that altar of the Most High. Please recognize that you are loved. In gratitude for this certainty, I let it be, and so it is.
All right, we have a new closing song, a different closing song for this month. I am open to my good right now. Yes, I know it's different. Just breathe, breathe and sing. All right, I am open to my good. I am open to my good right now. Open to good. I am open to my good right now. I am open to good. I am open to good. I accept my good. I accept my good right now. I accept my good. I accept my good right. My good, I accept my good. I give thanks. I give thanks for my good right now. I give thanks for my good. I give thanks for my good right now. I give thanks for my good. I give thanks for my good. I am open to Bless you. Bless you.
If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have inspirational services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our online listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.